This is an executive briefing on behalf of the Regional Emergency Coordination Office, State of Vermont. This briefing is for the Governor's Office, the Vermont National Guard, the Red Cross, regional and local volunteer groups, Vermont Department of Public Safety, the Burlington Mayor's Office, and all departments that fall under it, Franklin, Orleans, Essex, Grand Isle, Lamoille, Chittenden, Washington, and Caledonia County officials. Subject is a continued evaluation and update on the winter storm. While the freezing rain has stopped, there are 7 to 8 inches of ice that have accumulated in the areas. Current and upcoming temperatures for the next few days will stay low enough that it will not speed up the melting process, but it will allow the treatment placed on the roads by our emergency road crews to take effect. Power lines have been downed in many local areas. Velco are working tirelessly to restore power as soon as possible. Major highways and secondary roads are still impassable, and all citizens are urged to remain in their homes for the next several days as our crews work to remove the ice and clear primary roads before moving on to secondary streets. Keep in mind that additional structures such as bridges and tunnels will require additional servicing prior to accessibility. There is a state of emergency for all of Vermont. This is good news as it provides much needed resources as our supplies and funding have dwindled significantly. As additional supplies are funneled in, all local, regional, and state agencies working together under the Emergency Operations Center, or the EOC, must continue to communicate their ongoing efforts and identify areas that need additional support coordination during this time. Primary concern at the moment is the loss of power cables for several miles, with Velco predicting several months of repairs before 100% operational status. This is unacceptable, as this puts thousands of citizens at severe risk of cold-related injuries. The EOC will coordinate with all participating agencies to identify where the best additional support is needed to supplement Velco efforts. We will encourage both federal and state support to acquire the parts and materials needed by Velco to accomplish their task as soon as possible. We will coordinate with FEMA and all local administrations throughout the process. In addition, an emergency mutual assistance agreement has been in place to ensure recovery efforts are not delayed. FEMA has released a press release stating that federal funding is available to state and local governments as well as certain private nonprofit organizations. FEMA is authorized to identify and provide support materials as needed across the region. We will work with FEMA to identify those areas. As power continues to be a problem, all agencies need to work together to target at-risk citizens that have lost power, keeping in mind an increased risk of hypothermia as well as carbon monoxide poisoning as they seek secondary forms of heating sources. Emergency services must be prepared to address those citizens to either the hospital or emergency shelters as appropriate. As this storm proceeds, the Regional Emergency Coordination Office will continue to give you regular updates, to include government response and efforts, contact information for local aid organizations, and additional weather-related issues. In the meantime, do not hesitate to call or email the REC or the EOC at the contact points that are found at all of your agencies, as well as on our websites. In the meantime, stay safe, and I'll have more updates soon. Thank you.